Welcome back to Trojan Fieldhouse. I'm Stephen Swanner, and I'm joined by Jordan Gillis. And Jordan, before we get into the specifics of so far this season, I want to ask you kind of about your transfer process. Obviously, you're a transfer from
Gosh.
Montevallo, and you're almost through this first season with
hmm
Trevecca. I want to ask you just first, what was one of the difficulties you found throughout that transition? But then secondly, what's one of the favorite things that you found about that transfer process?
I think the hardest thing was probably being like, is it going to get better? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And so I think there was a part, because after Montevallo, I was kind of ready to give up basketball, to be honest. So there was a part of me that was like, is it going to be worth it? Are my teammates going to be people that I love? Are we going to go far? Is it going to, just more so is like, what ifs, I guess. And then coming here, it has been nothing but great. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I feel like I'm living an answered prayer, to be honest. Um, so yeah, I think the best part has been being surrounded by the best coaches and the best players that I think I've had in all of my college career.
Well, that's a fantastic answer. And I mean, since being here, you've really flourished. I mean, you're the team's leading scorer. You've been at the top of the Gulf South Conference in both steals and assists pretty much all year, pretty much bouncing between one and two of those two stats. Uh, what part of your game, could be either as a player or just as your character, do you think has really improved in your first year here?
I think something that probably goes unnoticed to the normal, eye of fans, but something that I feel like I really needed is coach has really helped me that when I do drive, try to keep my dribble alive a little bit because sometimes I think that when I attack and I think that I don't have a layup, I stop, and sometimes that can get me in a little bit of trouble. So I think he's really helped me to be able. It helps me make better passes. It helps me score more whenever I'm down there. So I think that's probably been the biggest benefit.
Yeah. Well, you're all over the court and you hit every stat sheet. In fact, my broadcast partner, Kendall, refers to you as the stat sheet stuffer because there's not a single stat in the book that you neglect on game day. What is it about you that makes you such a dynamic, aggressive, and just a successful basketball player in all aspects of the game?
Oh gosh. I think I I think when it comes to scoring, obviously that's a big part about basketball. But for me, it's not the stat that I focus on the most. I feel like if I turn the ball over or something, my first thought is, okay, I need to make up for it. Maybe that's an assist. Maybe that's a rebound. Maybe it's a steal, pick it up on defense. And when I get in foul trouble, I get a little bit like, okay, now you have to rebound because you can't be as aggressive on the steals and stuff. So I think for me, it's thinking about how can I help the team as a whole and not focusing on the things that I've done wrong.
Yeah. Now, this is going to air at halftime, but we're recording this before the Mississippi College game. It's a big weekend here. Mississippi College and Delta State coming in. And obviously every game is big in the Gulf South Conference, but tonight, what do you think is kind of the key to success for Trevecca?
I think last time we played them, we shot really well, and I think they didn't have the greatest shooting night, but they're a great basketball team, and they've proved that all around the conference. And so for us, I think it's sticking to the things that we are good at, sticking to our game plan. Don't worry so much about playing their pace, but play our pace. And I think just going into it with that mindset will help us.
You and Tatum Shaw average just about 36 minutes a game, and usually you play the entire 40-minute game, the two of you. How critical is that to this team that you have you and Tatum at the top who can pretty much give you 40 minutes guaranteed pretty much every game?
I think it's something that if we do need to be taken out, we do that and we don't have any problems with it. But there are games that I think, we do need to stay in there. And for us, I think it's fighting through fatigue, and I think it helps the team in a aspect of they can rely on us in a sense, like we can trust them to play 40, and if they don't play 40, we have other people that can step up.
Absolutely. That is Jordan Gillis. She is the leading scorer for the Trevecca women's basketball team. We wish you the best of luck tonight and appreciate you for the time. We've
Thank
got
you.
the second half of Trevecca versus Mississippi College coming up next on Flow College.